Every game begins the same way.
Birdland friends, a heads up. A reliable source just confirmed a move that could surprise everyone. One of the most valuable pieces of our roster is involved in a trade conversation that could change everything. The impact of this decision goes far beyond a simple game. We're talking about the future of our franchise. Don't be the last to know. Subscribe to the channel and get the first-hand analysis that will give you a complete view of the Orioles' next steps. Attention, Birdland! Before we dive into the news that's shaking the foundations of our franchise, I have a direct and crucial request for you. If you want to receive the fastest, deepest, and most authentic analyses about the Orioles with a unique perspective from someone who lives the team's day-to-day life intensely, please subscribe to the channel now. It's a simple click that guarantees you exclusive access to behind-the-scenes information, strategies, and the complete coverage you, as a part of Birdland, deserve. Our mission is to bring the truth about the O's, and by subscribing, you become part of this movement. Now, let's get down to business. The 2025 season ended in a way no one in Baltimore expected. After a glorious 2024, the current campaign was a true roller coaster of disappointments. And now, with the offseason approaching, the Orioles front office faces one of the most crucial decisions in its recent history. What to do with Adley Rutschman? The news that the Birds are considering trading our star catcher, the first overall pick of the 2019 draft, has shaken the analyst community and naturally raised a series of questions within our passionate Birdland. Speculation intensified after the news that Samuel Basallo, a promising catcher, has already signed a long-term contract, despite not having completed a month of playing in the MLB. This decision, in itself, already points to the front office's intention to define the future of the catching position. Dane Perry from CBS Sports raised a crucial point that, in my opinion, makes perfect sense. He argues that the Orioles should keep Rutschman at this time. And why? First, because Adley's market value is low. His offensive numbers in 2025 were, let's admit, disappointing. A .227 batting average with only 9 home runs and 27 RBIs in 85 games is not what we expected from one of the central pieces of our offense. Trading Rutschman now would be like selling a valuable stock at its lowest point. It's a decision that might bring an immediate return, but with the risk of monumental regret in the future. Perry suggests it's smarter to give Rutschman another year to recover offensively and thus re-establish his market value. A strong 2026 season would make his trade value skyrocket, and the team would have much more bargaining power to seek an elite starting pitcher, something we desperately need. Furthermore, and here lies a point of enormous relevance, Rutschman's presence can be crucial for Basallo's development. The idea of a work-sharing arrangement between the two catchers makes total sense. While Adley contributes with his vast experience and leadership, Basallo could learn from him, both defensively and in managing pitchers. Let's remember that Basallo, despite all his potential, still has defensive limitations to overcome. A gradual transition, with the mentorship of one of the best in the game, would be ideal for the franchise. The possibility of using both in different positions in the lineup, with one at first base or as a designated hitter, offers strategic flexibility to the manager. It's an analysis that goes beyond pure numbers and focuses on building a solid future. Stay tuned. The question is not just whether the Orioles will trade Adley Rutschman, but rather the timing and reason behind a possible move. The front office seems to be thinking long-term with Samuel Basallo, but this strategy might ignore the reality of the present. Adley's offensive decline in 2025 is undeniable, and therefore his value in the trade market is not what it was a year ago. If the goal is to get a top pitcher, as speculated, trading Rutschman at this low point might not yield what is expected. Worse, the team might have to complement the package with other valuable prospects, which would further weaken our system. Dane Perry's argument that Adley Rutschman should have another year to regain his value is not only sensible, it's a cold and professional analysis of the market. A player like Rutschman, with his performance history and recovery potential, is an asset that must be maximized. Rushing a trade now based on a below-average season and the rise of Basallo would be a risky gamble. Basalo's long-term contract signals the front office's vision, but it cannot be the sole factor influencing such an important decision. The dynamic of using both catchers in a rotation system, where one plays behind the plate and the other at first base or as a designated hitter, is an elegant solution that protects the health of both and maximizes a team's offensive potential. This approach allows Basalo to develop gradually under the shadow of an all-star, while Rutschman has a chance to find his rhythm at the plate again. It's a win-win scenario. Adley's injury, a minor right oblique strain that placed him on a 10-day injured list, adds an extra layer of complexity to the situation. Any team interested in a trade will be aware of this type of detail. Trading an injured player, even if the injury is minor, can further decrease his market value. Caution is the best strategy here. The Orioles front office must resist the temptation of an impulsive trade and focus on maximizing the value of their most important assets. And there's no more important asset right now than the decision about Adley Rutschman's future. Birdland expects reason to prevail over haste. The core of the issue lies in the patience and long-term vision of the Baltimore Orioles management. If the 2025 season was a blow, the response cannot be a desperate reaction that compromises the team's future. Trading Adley Rutschman at this time would be exactly that. A hasty move made under the pressure of a disappointing season and motivated by the rise of Samuel Basalo. Basalo's a talent, no doubt, but he is still a rookie with less than a month in the MLB. His game sample is too small to justify such a drastic decision. Dane Perry's logic is unassailable. Giving Rutschman a chance to re-establish himself is the safest and ironically the most intelligent bet. He has a history of being an impact player, and statistically, a below-average season does not erase what he has already demonstrated. Remember what he did in 2023. The trend of offensive decline mentioned by Perry is real, but it can be reversed. And if it is, Rutschman's trade value for the 2026 offseason would be astronomical. It's the difference between trading a popular car and a luxury model. The rush to trade Rutschman now, in addition to generating a smaller return, could create a gap in leadership and experience on the team. Adley is not just a good catcher. He is a leader in the locker room and one of the faces of the franchise. His presence is fundamental to the team's morale and cohesion. The idea that he can be Basalo's teacher is the best strategy for the transition. This is not just about improving Basalo's defensive game, but also about teaching him how to handle the pressure and demands of the major leagues. Daily coexistence with a professional like Adley is an invaluable investment in Basalo's future and the team's. Samuel Basalo's defensive limitations are a crucial point. A young catcher who needs defensive development should not be thrown to the wolves as the team's sole starter, especially if the goal is to return to being a contender. A rotation system with Rutschman allows Basalo to develop without the pressure of carrying the position alone. And there's the additional bonus of flexibility. Having two high-level catchers on the roster allows the manager to move pieces and optimize the lineup for each game. It's a luxury that few teams have. The debate about Adley Rutschman is not just about statistics, but about the team's DNA. He embodies what it means to be an Oriole. And frankly, the idea of seeing him in another uniform without having maximized his value is something that Birdland cannot accept. The issue boils down to a cold and calculated analysis of risks and rewards. Trading Adley Rutschman now with his value at a low would be a high-risk play with limited potential reward. The reward would be a decent starting pitcher, maybe, but hardly an ace who can change the franchise's destiny immediately. The risk, on the other hand, is losing a leader and a generational talent who can easily recover and return to being an all-star, while the return obtained in a trade becomes, in retrospect, insignificant. Dane Perry's proposal to keep Rutschman and give him another year is the safest approach, and ironically, the one with the highest potential to bring the best return for the Orioles. The dynamic of having Rutschman and Samuel Basalo on the roster is not a problem, it's an opportunity. It solves the issue of health management and workload for both, allowing Basalo to develop without the pressure of carrying the position alone, and for Rutschman to have a chance to find his swing again. The flexibility this duo offers is invaluable. The front office needs to be transparent and make a decision based on facts, not on speculation and impatience. Birdland, which has always supported the team, deserves a clear and well thought out strategy. What's at stake is not just one player, but the management's credibility and the future of one of the most promising franchises in the MLB. Our fans who shout "Oh" in the national anthem with so much pride deserve the best. The decision about Rutschman is the first and most important step to ensure that the disappointing 2025 season is just a detour and not the beginning of a decline. It is crucial that the front office understands that haste is the enemy of perfection. The main news, in summary, is that the Baltimore Orioles are considering trading Adley Rutschman this offseason. But analysts warn that it would be a mistake, as his market value is low and his presence is crucial for the development of rookie Samuel Basallo. What do you Birdland fans think of this situation? Should the front office take the risk and trade Rutschman now, or follow the advice to give him another season to recover and thus increase his trade value? What would be the best strategy for the next games and for the trade window? Leave your opinions in the comments. And if you haven't done so yet, like the video, comment your opinion, and subscribe to the channel to continue following the most exclusive analyses and daily updates about our beloved O's. Together we make Birdland stronger.